Have you ever wondered why some men, without raising their voices or dominating every conversation, seem to effortlessly command attention and respect the moment they enter a room? Why does their silence carry more weight than the loudest speeches? There's a hidden force at work here, a force so powerful that it can make you unstoppable, yet so subtle that most men never even realize it exists. What if I told you that the key to true power isn't in what you say, but in what you don't say? In a world drowning in noise and meaningless chatter, the ability to say less isn't weakness. It's the ultimate weapon. Today, you're about to uncover the silent strategy that turns quiet men into legends, that transforms mere presence into absolute control. The question is, are you ready to embrace the power of silence and become unstoppable? There is an unspoken force that commands every room, an invisible current that flows not from loud declarations or desperate attempts to be noticed, but from a simple, almost paradoxical source: silence. The man who understands this secret wields a power far beyond the reach of those who drown in noise. Saying less is not a sign of weakness or hesitation. It is a calculated strategy, a weapon sharper than any sword, and those who master it become truly unstoppable. In a world where chatter is cheap and words flood every moment, silence becomes the rarest, most valuable currency. It creates an aura of mystery, a magnetic pull that draws people in, making them lean closer, desperate to catch a hint of your thoughts. This isn't just about being quiet, it's about saying less with purpose, about commanding attention without needing to beg for it. The silence itself speaks volumes, telling stories of confidence, control, and intelligence. To the untrained eye, silence may seem like absence, but to the one who knows, it is the sound of power roaring beneath calm waters. The psychology behind this is as ancient as human interaction itself. Humans crave connection, but more than connection, they crave certainty. When faced with someone who chooses silence, the brain becomes unsettled. It senses an information gap, a puzzle missing its final piece. This discomfort is a psychological itch, forcing the mind to become hyper-alert, searching for clues in facial expressions, tone, or subtle movements. In this way, silence controls the room. It shifts the burden of communication onto others, making them reveal more about themselves than they intended. And with each word they spill, you gather fragments of knowledge, weaknesses, desires, intentions that you can use to your advantage. The quiet man listens not just with ears, but with his entire being, absorbing and analyzing, while others waste their energy trying to fill the void with noise. But silence's true power lies in its ability to shift dynamics without a single word spoken. Have you ever noticed how the person who says the least in a conversation often holds the greatest influence? They need not dominate the floor. Instead, their quiet presence forces others to compete for their attention, to impress, to over-explain. It is a subtle form of dominance, one rooted in control rather than coercion. Silence is a psychological trap. It forces impatience and reveals truth. In negotiation rooms, those who rush to fill every silence with talk often lose power, giving away too much and revealing too soon. The silent strategist holds back, knowing that in the pause lies leverage. It is in the quiet moments that fear and doubt creep into the minds of opponents. When you say less, you create uncertainty, and uncertainty is the weapon of the strong. This mastery of silence is not simply about withholding words, but knowing exactly when and how to speak. The danger of silence lies in misunderstanding. It can be mistaken for arrogance, aloofness, or weakness by those who lack insight. To wield silence as power, it must be paired with confident body language, steady eye contact, and an unshakable calm. Your silence must never feel empty or passive. It must be charged with intention, like a coiled spring ready to unleash. When you enter a room and remain silent, your presence fills the space. You become the calm in the storm, the eye that everyone orbits. This magnetic mystery you cultivate is irresistible, especially to those who crave connection but fear vulnerability. Women, in particular, sense this power deeply. The man who reveals less invites curiosity and emotional investment. She will seek to unlock the enigma, driven by a primal urge to understand and possess the silent power he wields. This is not mere attraction. It is fascination mixed with respect and a subtle fear that such a man cannot be easily tamed or understood. Yet many men squander their power through excessive words, frantic explanations, and desperate justifications. They reveal their thoughts, plans, and insecurities in a flood of language, diluting their presence and exposing themselves to attack. The fool overshares while the wise man guards his silence. As Machiavelli reminded us, men shrink less from offending one who makes a show of openness than one who knows how to be silent. Every word spoken is a thread in a tapestry of strategy. Too many threads unravel the whole picture. By saying less, you hold your strategy close, keep your adversaries guessing, and preserve your advantage. Silence is a fortress, impervious to assault, because without knowledge, there can be no effective attack. Silence also creates a unique psychological environment where anticipation builds. In conversations, the pause after a statement is where the magic happens. It is the psychological space where others project their own fears, hopes, and desires. This invisible tension is your power. When you speak sparingly, your words become precious gems, weighted with significance. People will remember what you say, not because it was frequent, but because it was rare and deliberate. You force others to listen with intention, and in their desire to hear more, they reveal their own weaknesses and true intentions. Listening, therefore, is an active form of silence, a tactical exercise in gathering intelligence and shaping outcomes. The silent man's mind is always 3 steps ahead, analyzing what is said and what is left unsaid. Historically, some of the world's most formidable leaders understood this better than anyone. Julius Caesar rarely wasted words, but when he spoke, the Senate and his enemies hung on every syllable. Napoleon Bonaparte cultivated an aura of mystery through silence, never revealing his full plans until the moment of action. Machiavelli himself, the master of strategic thought, advised rulers to be like the fox and the lion, cunning and strong, but always measured. The fox is silent and watchful, striking only when the moment is perfect. This ancient wisdom is timeless. In the chaos of today's world, where noise is relentless and words are cheap, silence has become the ultimate form of rebellion. Choosing to say less in a culture addicted to constant output signals supreme confidence. It means you are not desperate for validation or approval. Instead, you control the narrative by withholding it. But make no mistake, silence is not passivity. It is an active choice, a mental discipline, and a form of dominance. It demands patience and emotional control. Many men cannot sit with silence because they fear it exposes their insecurity or weakness. They rush to fill it, betraying their desperation. The unstoppable man, however, thrives in silence. His calm becomes a psychological weapon that unsettles others. He speaks only when his words have the power to move mountains. Until then, he remains a silent force, unshakable and inscrutable. In the digital age, where attention is fragmented and distraction is constant, the silent power grows even stronger. Social media rewards the loudest voices, but it also creates fatigue. The man who resists the urge to flood the world with meaningless updates gains rare respect. His sparse words cut through the noise like a blade, commanding attention by their scarcity. Silence online becomes a form of mystery, a strategic silence that keeps others guessing and craving more. It is a refusal to be consumed by the endless chatter, an assertion of control over time and attention, the most precious resources in the modern world. Ultimately, the silent power is not just about how much you say, but what your silence communicates. It tells the world that you are a man who is not easily rattled, who holds secrets others do not, and who moves with purpose rather than panic. It invites curiosity, commands respect, and protects your mind from invasion. To master the silent power is to become a living paradox, present yet distant, strong yet calm, known yet mysterious. In a society obsessed with noise, this is your greatest weapon. Harness it, and you will become unstoppable.